I have been a longtime fan of the Okuma Celilo rods. However, in the past couple months, I finally got my hands on the newest model. And we're going to talk about today about whether this holds up to the Okuma Celilo expectations or if it falls short. So in today's video, let's cover that. Now, before I can go over the features and my overall thoughts on the rod, let's go over the specs on the rod that I bought right here. So this one is the CE-S-602ULB, and this is going to be a 6-foot ultralight rod with a moderate action. Now, this is going to be a 5+ tip for number of guides. The line weight is coming in at 2 to 6 pounds. The lure weight is 1/32 to 1/4 ounce. It's just a 2-piece rod, and the MSRP is coming in at around $33.99. Now, Okuma did have a bunch of different features on their website. The 3 that kind of stood out to me the most here are going to be the sensitive graphite composite blank, aluminum oxide guide inserts, and the stainless steel hooded reel seat. Now, as for looks, Okuma changed it up on this rod compared to the old one. The old one had more of a maroon color. It was actually like almost all maroon across the entire rod. Versus this one, they went with a much plainer route. They went with more of just a straight gray rod with a little bit of black accents in there and some silver thread and silver lettering. So they went real plain on this rod. I've said it before in my reviews. I really like when companies go a plainer route on the rods. It tells me that they're not trying to compensate for something else instead of going with super crazy colors and trying to catch your attention. There are some exceptions in that, to that rule, but I'm really happy when the low budget rods spend more money on the actual rod itself than the overall marketing and colors and trying to advertise their product. So I'm really happy about what Okuma did with this rod. I'm also a huge fan of full cork rods, and especially full cork for my trout rods. So I'm very happy that they did that here, and they even threw in a little bit of cork on the front as well. So the handle itself is pretty plain. This is a pretty standard, cheaper rod, reel seat right here, but hey, it works, it's great, and I'm sure it's really cheap for Okuma to put those on a rod. So as long as you can keep that price down, I think that's fine with me. Now, as for the versatility and function, this is mainly a trout rod. I think that's what this rod is going to be most marketed as, is a trout specific rod, but this is going to work great for overall panfish applications as well. And then they also have a couple different models. So if you go on Okuma's website, they have a Celilo B rod, which I believe is going to be for more of your salmon and steelhead stuff. I believe they also have a kokanee rod, a kokanee specific Celilo rod in there as well. So it's kind of cool. Like, as you can tell, this is more of a Pacific Northwest designed rod, but these are going to work anywhere across the country as well for trout, panfish, whatever, species you're going for. Even like light bass and light walleye applications, these rods are going to work fine for that too. I've actually hooked on this rod right here. I've actually caught a couple dandy smallmouth on this rod while fishing for trout. I hooked them on accident, and I was very happy with how they played out. We're in the hole. He's got it. There we are. That's him. Probably. I'm thinking that was the fish that was sitting there. Right between that fast and slow water, he was just sitting right in that little difference between the two. Come here, buddy. This is definitely a stocked fish for sure. There we are. Little guy. For this little body of water though, that's a decent fish. Send him on his way. Cool. Now, as for the durability and overall build quality, I am very, very happy with how they did this. Like I said before, that reel seat, it isn't anything super fancy, but it gets the job done. The overall build quality of this, it's a very tough rod. I like the blank. It's very sturdy. I have 3 of the old Celilos, and this is my 4th Celilo, and this is the new one. All 4 of them, I haven't had any issues with breaking or any place where they've kind of given. There hasn't been any weak spot on these rods. So for overall durability, 100%, this is a fantastic rod. Now, for the casting and sensitivity portion, that is where this rod lacks a little bit. You can definitely tell in terms of the sensitivity, this has the sensitivity of a $35 rod. I mean, it's not it is great. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of rods that are much less sensitive than this and are the same price range, or heck, even a little bit pricier. I still think for $35, it does a great job. But overall, you can tell, especially when you've used an Okuma Guide Select Pro, or I mean, heck, even an SST that's just, you know, 20, 30 bucks pricier than this rod right here, you can definitely feel the difference in those rods. They are an overall higher quality blank. There's better sensitivity. You know, there's definitely a lot of features that are better in those, but then again, you pay for that, right? For $35, it does everything you need it to, but in terms of the sensitivity portion, it's not exceeding on that. Now, for that $35 price point, that's the next category we're gonna talk about here, is price. It knocks it out of the park. I mean, there is no other rod for $35 that I think you get the quality out of than this Okuma Celilo right here. The Okuma, I don't know, I really don't know how they're making money on this rod. I don't know how they're profiting, like with the amount of components and details and overall features and quality in this rod. I really doubt they're making a lot. I mean, they have to have put decent parts in this, you know, decently expensive parts to build this rod. So for price, oh my goodness, this rod just knocks it out of the park. This is such a good bang for your buck option in that price point, you know, in that price range. Pair it up with a Daiwa Revros or some other reel in that kind of $50 to $60 range, and you're talking a sub $100 trout rod and reel combo that fishes so much more expensive than how it actually costs. So overall price, great. Let's go over the pros and cons real quick of this setup. As for the pros, number one, the durability. It is a super durable rod. I haven't broken any yet, and I've been super happy with the build quality. I love that nice full court grip on this thing. It's super comfy to hold all day. You know, has nice ergonomical features to it. And then that price. Oh my goodness, the price is just fantastic for this rod. As for the cons, the only thing I could put here was that it lacks in sensitivity, but I gotta put in parentheses, not for the price, because for the price, it's fine. It's pretty average or a little bit above average for sensitivity, right? But you know, overall in the market, it is not a very sensitive rod. And so I guess I was kind of struggling to find a con here, and I'm gonna put that in the con category. As for the rating here, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. I don't give out a whole ton of 9s. I give out a lot of 7s to 8s, but a 9 or a 9.5 is pretty rare. I'm on the verge of putting this at a 9.5 just because of the overall price and the quality. I think if they made this rod just a little bit more sensitive, I think it's deserving of that 9.5 ranking, which very few products have been given. So overall, phenomenal rod for the money. This is fantastic. If you guys want to actually see this rod in action, I have a video fishing with this rod and the Daiwa Revros, which is an awesome reel to pair up with it. I'll put that video right here for you. If you guys want to see a couple other rods in that sub $100 price range that I would also recommend, I will put that video right here for you. So hopefully you guys got a kick out of today's episode, and we will see you guys next time on Humbug Videos.